And like on my vision board, I put top 5 on The Voice, and I did it. So what is success? I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. And I feel so satisfied with making it to 4th place.
Yeah.
That like I wouldn't do another show.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
Do you just want to start by saying who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Lucia Flores-Wiseman. I'm a singer-songwriter in Seattle. Just finished 4th on The Voice, so that was pretty awesome. And yeah, I'm a pretty cool person.
Yeah, I told you earlier, my dad is like so stoked that you're doing the podcast. He was like your biggest fan on The Voice.
I love that. That is so sweet.
He's like so excited.
Well, hi, Zach's dad.
Yeah, he'll definitely watch for sure.
I love that. That's so awesome. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I think we could just start there with, how was your time on The Voice?
Pretty good, if I might say so myself. It was really amazing. I did not know that I would make it that far. But I really learned a lot. I grew a lot. Adam Levine is pretty cool. Yeah. A lot of people ask me if he smelled good. Like, what did he smell like?
Top question.
That was actually, I'm not even joking, I think the top question that I got from people. Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Yeah. Is it all a blur for you? Because I feel like it's just it moves so quick.
It does move so quick. And sometimes I forget. And then watching it on Peacock, because you can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
It's weird to see that was my life. And I have lots of moments of remembering things, but I don't know, it really moved quickly. And
yeah.
I think it was a lot of the times preparing for it, the time that we were on TV versus the time off of it. There's a lot more time off.
Yeah.
And the actual rehearsing, the actual becoming friends with people, that the other contestants, and talking and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's the preparation that is that then being on the show is kind of a blur in a way. Yeah.
Okay. How long was it from getting there to finish? How long of a time is that?
Yeah. They reached out to me in March of last year, so 2024.
Okay.
And then started filming in July, I believe. And then the show ended end of May this year.
Yeah.
So it seriously was a year of my life. And I had to keep it a secret for a hot minute because we were a different season that wasn't ready. Wasn't airing yet. So there was a time between end of filming and lives where there were so many months that I was what am I doing with my life? No one knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
People are trying to book gigs, and I'm let me see if I'm free in the summer, but let me tell you later when I find out more.
Yeah.
Just I had to be very careful with my words, and yeah, it's just crazy.
Because I'm sure there's paperwork and NDAs.
Yeah, let's hope I don't say anything in this interview.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, and now, okay, because it's been a little bit. How are you feeling now about it? Just in general.
Yeah, so it's been 2 months since The Voice ended. And I feel now I lived it, I enjoyed it, and I'm really proud of myself. Now it's what's next? Mm-hmm. And how can I take my time on the show and still propel me forward and be, instead of Lucia, the girl on The Voice, to then being Lucia, an artist who makes bomb-ass songs and is a wonderful, artist, creative, stuff like that. So it's so much planning, and it's all on me. I mean, that's all creatives, right? It's all on you. But now I have millions of eyes. Okay, I had millions of eyes. Maybe we can do that again. But how do we get the people that enjoyed me on the show to stick with me. And there's so much pressure I'm putting on myself. I actually have a bald spot on my head. Yeah. It's actually like, I'm laughing, but I'm like, no, it's like, spot.
It's stressful.
It's stressful. But I know I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah.
I know I can do it. But I have ADHD. And so organizing everything is almost impossible. But I'm still doing it. And it's going to be all good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can imagine, that there's probably like wanting to, like, whatever you do next, follow it up with like a certain level of like a standard.
Yes.
And like a certain pressure to that.
Yeah.
When that's all made up in your head, and it's like really like you're holding yourself to a standard and putting that pressure on yourself. But like as artists, it's like, it's like we can't do this thing and then follow it up with this thing with, with the same level, and being really thoughtful with that.
Totally.
Have you been, this comes up all the time on the podcast. People are just going to think that this is all I talk about in my life. But have you been like vision boarding, and have you been like goal setting? And
yes, I mean, you should be talking about it on every podcast because it's so interesting to hear everyone's takes. Of course, like the past couple years, I've been making like vision boards for the year.
Yeah.
Of what I wanted. And like on my vision board, I put top 5 on The Voice, and I did it. So
vision boards, they work.
They work. They actually do work.
Yes.
I think it's all that like time and attention that you put into like your goals and dreams, and then you kind of see it and reflect back on it. And like I put down like, I want 10,000 followers or something on like TikTok or Instagram, and like now I'm at like 67,000, and like that's even crazy.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's like 21,000, which doesn't always mean everything, right?
Yeah.
And of course I want to like sustain it and have the people actually like me, like Lucia, and not just because honestly on TikTok I lost 200 followers. They're probably like, she's not on the show anymore. Like she's out of my feed. But
when's the next season?
Right?
Who can I follow?
Right? I know, and it's always so funny because these same people always say, no one ever gets like big after like The Voice, and then they unfollow these people. It's like, how are they gonna do it when you're doing that? Like, no, but I would say like right now I just got like a big whiteboard, and my boyfriend Steven is like, another thing to buy to be organized, because I always do that and it never works.
Well, yeah.
but this time
you gotta
try.
Yeah.
But I wrote out like all the different things that I have on my mind, like EP, songwriting, LA, like content posts, videographers, money. How do we do that? Like, I don't know.
Equals money?
Equals. And I even like added up how much money it would be for my EP. And then I'm like, I don't have that number in my account. So I know it's going to be fine. I really do believe that like the same hard work and determination it took for me to be on The Voice, I can transfer that, and I really think things will pop off in the way that they need to. What is success? I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's your journey to figure that out and be in that, and it is like the other thing that I had written down that I definitely was gonna ask you when it came to The Voice was just, I want to see how you feel about it. Now you're on the other side of it.
Right.
You've grown. Would you do it again?
No. And here's the reason.
Okay.
Oh, if I were to like redo, like stop, go back, I would 100% do it again. What I'm saying is like, so many people are asking if I would do it again, and I feel so satisfied with making it to 4th place.
Yeah.
That like I wouldn't do another show to try to win, because I already won. The whole point of it was to be a better musician, to have better confidence, get more connection, get more eyes on you. And I did that. And so like I got the same amount of like TV time as the winner. And like, I mean, I guess he did one extra song, but yeah, I love him. He's great. Adam's great. But like I did what I needed to do, and like I don't feel like I need to do it again. But if someone were to ask me, do you like regret it or whatever, I do not regret it at all. Like it was so worth it, and I grew so much. I was so hesitant about doing it because I did like American Idol when I was 16 and 17, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna do a show again. And then this came up, and I was like, I don't know, is this gonna be like traumatic, you know? But it wasn't. Like it was amazing, seriously. Yeah
because that is like, you know, as you meet people that have done all the different types of competition shows, you know, there is like every show's different, you know, and every show has like its behind the scenes vibe that we don't always get to understand, like how well was it ran, what was going on, and you know,
culture too.
And then like afterwards and how it feels. And you know, like something that I talk about comics a lot is like comedians, we have comedy festivals where you go and you perform, but then we also have comedy festivals that are competitions.
Right. Oh,
and where you're competing and you're trying to like win. And I've talked to a lot of comics where it's like the festivals are often you're like best friends, you're meeting people, you're like networking for a whole weekend, having a good time. But when anytime they've like comics have done like the competitions, it's like now that comedian's your competitor, and it's like not so. And so it's like I always wonder where it's like someone like you where it's like, you know, music, and then it's like a big show like that, and do you feel like there was definitely that competition side behind, or is it just like you're all friends behind the show? Or
we were all friends.
That's
the good part. You know, like I've heard from other people about like the competition shows that like that might have been different for them, but for this one, like it was a great culture, like everyone uplifting each other, really positive. And like I, of course, like we're humans, like there's that little ego of like, oh, I wish I could get to this round or to this round and whatnot. But I feel like especially the people like in the ending of the show, like it was just friends. And especially like when it came down to top 5, you know, the 5 of us were just like, okay, we're all amazing and good. How can you compare each other when we're so vastly different? And it's just like subjective at the end of the day, right? And so it's like, who really is better? Like, that's hard to determine. So
I mean, with any art where it's just like everything's different, and it's like, what audience are you in front of?
Who gravitate towards it? Like,
So it's just you don't. You're right. It's like it's hard to like put that on a bubble. And so I'm happy to hear that you're all like friends behind the scenes, and that. So you grew up in Seattle.
Yes, outskirts, but yes.
Outskirts. So then you started doing live shows here in Seattle. What's that been like? Not only, I mean, it's very different now with The Voice, but I'm just sure over the years you've seen the music scene change and the community change, and like, how do you feel about performing in Seattle and what that looks like? Or? Yeah.
Well, I started performing when I was like 15, 16, like gigging. And I've been gigging, like I said, 8 years. I'm 23 now. And so as a solo performer, it's doing those 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour gigs. I was gigging in the airport. No one's looking at you. The grandma is going like this. Turn it down. And it's just like, no, I'm serious. That's happened to me like 2 times now.
You're like, this isn't just once.
And I'm like, leave this area. Like, go to your gate if you don't want to hear my music. But, you know, it's so interesting to see the shift of some people telling me, now that you've been on The Voice, you're so much better.
Oh,
but these are people that, Like, I agree in the sense that, like, yeah, I got more confident and stuff like that. Sure. 100%. But my talent was always there, in my opinion. In my opinion. You can't just, like, start and significantly, like, you know. And so I think once you're on a TV show and you actually get that exposure, more people want to hire you. More people want clout. More people want, you know, let's collab. Let's go in the studio and collab. And I'm like,
I've been meaning to hit you up for years.
Yeah, I just like, how are you doing? Can we jam out? And I'm like, where were you before this? You know? Yeah. Or there was like a girl from high school, and she like messaged me when I first said I was auditioning. That my audition didn't come out or anything, and she's like, can I be honest? And I'm like, no, but yeah, what's up? And she's like, I think you're trying too hard. I think you're trying too hard to sing. And like you sounded better in high school in choir. And I'm like, that's yeah. But you know, to each their own. And I'm like, you know what?
And what's her album? What's her record company called?
Yeah, it's actually called, I don't remember. But in my head, I was like, well, Adam Levine doesn't think that, so I think we're pretty good. You know?
Yeah, it's also like now where it's like, yeah, I am trying hard. I do want this to happen.
We're like, why didn't you tell me this before I announce I'm going on TV, right?
Right.
The purpose was to get in my head, and you know, I think hurt people.
Oh, for sure.
Really. And I've never ever thought of messaging someone and saying something like that. And that's been really interesting nowadays, is like comments. People are crazy in the comments. They think they can say anything.
They forget that you're there.
They forget you're human.
Yeah.
They think I'm just a character. Like, it's insane. But it's been good. Like my dad was telling me, like, if you're not creating controversy, you're not creating art. And so I'm like,
interesting.
I'm creating some good art. I really am.
Boy, am I pushing out art.
Wow. Yeah. Picasso.
Yeah. How do you feel about social media as a whole?
Yeah.
Like, are you, I know you're active on it, but like, how do you feel about posting and creating content?
It's a like love-hate relationship with social media. I think there's so many benefits to it, and I think The Voice found me because of social media.
Oh, okay.
Which I think was interesting because it wasn't even like blowing up or anything like that. But, you know, when you are able to post, it's very vulnerable. I'm sure you know that. Like, you're posting your jokes, or do people think I'm funny, or, you know, like, it's so much.
And often it's just like, why does his face look that way? And I'm like, oh, great.
You're like, can't do anything about it.
I was working on the joke, but
yeah, 100%. Like, you know, people will always like, not always, but there are people that want to focus on something that you're not even trying to convey. Like, and they'll have something to pick with it. I think social media has helped me in so many ways of being, it's almost like a portfolio in a way. It really is.
It's your business card.
Yeah, it is. And so like, it's helped me a lot. It helps get people eyes. Like, dude, like I would not be sitting here if it weren't for me posting a TikTok saying, come out to my show at Easy Street Records. And then you showed up and you're like, I saw you from TikTok. Like, that's just a pure example of like the good things that come from social media. But then when it comes to like being an artist, that's what's just like, it's hard because sometimes at the end of the day, you just want to make a banger song and not have to have people like, listen to my song, or doing covers. Like, I do love playing covers, but sometimes it feels like it's the only way to get people's attention too. Like something that they're familiar with. And, you know, I'm like complaining about this stuff, but also it can be really helpful. So it's just draining too.
Yeah.
But I still do it.
Yeah. And it's like music more so than I think than comedy. Because, you know, comedy is like one of those things where it's like there hasn't there's never really been money in it in general. But music, there used to be money.
What? Really? I think I'm too young for that.
Yeah. Like, we missed it. But like now it's like it's like music is like how I find every new band is TikTok, right? So it's like how we're getting new music is no longer like, I'm not watching TRL on MTV and like some kind of countdown or some list that's curated. I'm like just scrolling and hoping that the algorithm goes, hey, you seem to like this. Right. And I go, yeah, that's a good song. You know,
and it's a good point. Like, the great thing about social media, if the algorithm works in your favor, it can really send your music out to people that will connect with it, that will like be like, I really enjoy your music. Like, I want to continue following you. Like, that's the great thing. And so I'm trying to put in my head of like, the people that it's meant to reach, it will reach. And you know, try to spin it in a positive light. Like, you know, it's hard sometimes when you're stuck in like the 200 jail, 400 jail, like the views, and you're like, oh, does anyone? But we're so like misconstrued with numbers. Like, if I had 400 people in my house, that would be a problem. I cannot fit that many people. And so like, being grateful of that too. Like, the one person could watch it that could like spark a connection or change their life in a way. Yeah. Or
going back to the example of like 400 views. Well, I was one of those 400 that watched it, and then I went to Easy Street and saw you perform, where you crushed it, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, that was a great show. It was real fun. But yeah, it's like, it's all because at the same time, we could post something that could be, we didn't try at all, and it's 5 seconds long. It's a whatever idea, and then it gets 4 million views, and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I totally love when that happens. Yeah, 4 million views.
yeah, you're like, what is this?
Where did that come from? No, yeah, it's true. And I've heard from so many people, it's like the content that you end up posting where you spend the least amount of time on normally is the one that blows up. And then the one you're spending like hours on does so poorly. And I don't know, it's interesting. I think it's also like maybe a thing with life of like, you know, when people try to get a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and they're spending so much time, but it's always when you're not looking for it. Yeah, that happens. I wasn't looking for it. I found it at McDonald's. So I'm loving it. Love my boyfriend, Steven.
It's like all that is like such a good reminder of like enjoying the journey, you know, where like, I have to make the content, I have to post the content, I have to be part of the social media, but like if I'm enjoying the journey, it's like fine. Right. But yeah, and it's like that's what I love about like podcasting, where it's just like a deeper connection of like listening through a conversation, right? Instead of just so much of like the feedback. The longer, the longer content is really nice. Yeah, and it's just finding those people that will actually listen to it, but you want the people that are actually going to listen to it, right? Like, so, you know, pros and cons to everything. Yeah. Yeah. And then you mentioned to me earlier about maybe a fundraising show. Yeah. Yes. So I'm hoping to put together. That's how I talk. Yeah, we got it. That's the. Yeah, you got that, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you at the show. I'm hoping to come up with this fundraising show for my EP. Because, you know, I did the math and I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. And so we were talking about like small towns like before this. And, you know, I'm from Maple Valley, Washington, outskirts of Seattle. And so my hometown has been so supportive. And they're always like, when's your next show? Like, are you selling merch? Are you how can we support you? And so I got reached out by this one lady, Mary Jane, love her, and she was like, hey, is there any way that we can come up with like a fundraising show
for you at your high school, like my old high school. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is like, you know, a gift from God. Like I need something like that. And so I am gonna have like my full band with me. It's gonna be September 6th. Nice. At the Tahoma Performing Arts Center at 6:30 p.m. But anyways, all ages, super fun. And I'm really working on like nailing down the details. I'm gonna have merch for the very first time, which is crazy.
Oh, nice.
I know it's like after 8 years of performing. It's like, but it's gonna be so cool.
What kind of do you already have it all done, or are you like, is that all in the works?
I might have sent in the order today.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, just paid, $2,000 or something.
Yeah.
But it's going to be worth it. It actually really will. And I'm really excited for it. So selling that and like stickers and going to play some of the songs that are going to be on the EP and some more songs. And it's so awesome to play with the band versus just solo. It just really brings everything to life.
I bet.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to calculate like the exact number of what I'm trying to raise, but it could be anywhere from like 10,000 to 15 maybe. Because, it's everyone's asking for me to put out these songs, but it's like, it's a lot of money. And I want to pay my bandmates because they've been doing so many things for free and helping, but they also deserve money. And when you don't have a lot of money to give, it's really hard. So if my community can help in any way to help pay, that's my goal. So yeah, fundraising show. We'll see how it goes. But yeah.
I think that's great. I think, yeah. And I'm always a person of like, yeah, make it the 15, make it the 20,000, like have the big goal, Like,
yeah, that's scary.
Like I know it is, but it's like, yeah. And then we'll all be excited when you hit it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. I'm excited to learn more about that for sure.
Hey, even if I get like 2,000, it's going to be like 600 seats. And in that town, I already sold out a show for 460 seats. Even if it was like, okay, everyone bought a ticket for $20, like even that significantly helps. Yeah. Significantly. So, I'm just grateful for anything.
How are you going to do you already know how you're going to do the fundraising part of it?
That's what I'm trying to like figure out. Like, cause I'll be selling tickets, but I'm trying to see if there's like a crowdfunding link so that if people can't make it to the show or they're from out of state, like that they could also donate.
Like an Indiegogo or something like that.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, really?
No, I should check that out.
It's kind of like it's like Kickstarter.
Okay.
But it's like Kickstarter, but like it's a lot of people prefer it because with Kickstarter, if you don't hit your goal, the money goes away. Like no one gets it, right? Yeah, it's just like if you don't hit the goal, everyone gets a refund basically.
Oh, that's
but with Indiegogo,
crazy.
Yeah, Indiegogo is, from my understanding, it's like cheaper percentage that they take in general, and then also whatever you raise, you get to keep. Yeah, so it's like even if you don't hit the 20,000 and you get to $19,900, you can still have that.
Yeah. So. Okay, I should check that out.
Yeah. And then you can have like QR codes there, and you can have like different things. And then like I would even suggest like just having random buckets around where people can put cash.
Make it like church and to have a bucket pass around.
Yeah.
Should I really pressure people and be like, you're going to hell if you don't tip.
Yeah, I think so. I think you should. Yeah, all 600 of them.
Yeah. I'll go to a little girl and be like, "Give me your money."
What do you got?
Do you have a lollipop or something? Like,
put it in the bucket.
Right. So yeah, it's like weird to ask for money.
Well, money's like, for some reason, we have this like weird stigma around money about like in comedy all the time. It's like I'm having conversations with like other comedians of like, what do gigs pay? What do you ask for? Yeah. What's in your contract?
Yes.
And I have made it such a goal of like, anytime someone calls me, I just give as much as I can, of like here's all my info.
I tell them too, for sure.
Yeah. And it's like, because it's like, we have this weird, like we're supposed to be so secretive or whatever about it. And like but it's like, you need money to make an album.
Right. Yeah.
You say $20,000. Great. How do we get to that? You know, and it's like, we should be supporting the arts.
Oh, I love that. Let's send that to everyone. Let's make that just a clip and just send it to everyone.
Yeah, listen, I'll look right at the camera. Listen, you have to donate.
To.
I feel like I'm like late at night where it's like the phones, they're answering the phones behind me.
Call 818.
We need $800 tonight.
Or we're not making it out of this building.
Listen, I've locked the doors.
Oh, goodness. Like, but please.
But really.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, and for sure, I will, when everything's announced, I'll put all that in the show notes. And then people listening can either click and donate or come to the live show. So.
Totally. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, it's crazy because, like, money is a tool.
Yeah.
But there's like value to it, but then it's just a social construct and it's just paper. But then it's like when it's just a number online, it's like no longer paper. But like,
yeah, and especially
it's so interesting, you know.
And it's like with creative people, it's like once you start making money with your art, sometimes there's like self-worth in that.
That's true.
And there's like this weird lack of confidence until I make X amount, and then you're looking at your friends and you're like, that guy's on a private jet. You're like, you know, there's like that happening.
Yeah.
And it's also silly because it's like, that doesn't make the person in the private jet may or may not be more talented than you, but we do have this like expectations with money.
We do. We do. And like I grew up with Mexican immigrant father. Amazing. Love him. And, you know, he has different mindset with money. When I grew up, he was just like, oh, your job, you're not supposed to love it. It's just for money. Money is for surviving. It's a tool. And like, it was so interesting. But then he's so supportive of me, like, pursuing music.
Interesting.
Now it's in a way of like, he's gotten to a point where like, and he's so lucky and hardworking and fortunate. Like, it's a mix of everything. And, you know, he's in a good point right now in his career with money. And I think what he sees is he told my brother and I, go to college, get a degree. Did that. I did journalism and I wanted to. Like, it wasn't just like, I just want to do music. Like, I really did want to go to college. Did that. But then he was like, once you have that, that can be your plan B. But like, do what you want, but you have to do good at it. And I think in a way now he's like, he's done what he has done to support our family, like to pay for college, to do all that, that now it's like, okay, like, you're good. Like, try to make money in that. But he's also very understanding that, like, you know, I feel like I'm smart. Let's say I don't make like any money like ever from music. Right. Maybe I would take a step back. But I think after The Voice too, just understanding like, no, I am talented. Like, a lot of people enjoy my music. Like, I can do it. Yeah. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. But then we think, what does money have like value in life? What's happiness? Success? I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's not everything. And Adam Levine was telling me that too. He's like, dude, like all the money, he said that he didn't know he was going to be famous and rich and all that stuff. Right. And that he was still planning to do music, even if it meant like making no money. So it's really cool to hear that from his perspective. And I look up that guy's net worth. 180 million. He's like, money doesn't matter. Yeah. As he's like burning my cash. Rolex. No, but he's such a genuine, authentic guy.
Yeah, and but at the same time, it's like I think that's perfectly put. Of doing music either way is great because it's like, yeah, you're enjoying making the music, and as we all know, it's like the longer you just stay in the arts and you stay motivated and you stay focused, like something will happen. It will. And you'll just, you know, you just keep digging at it. And yeah, I'm really curious, like, how is your So it's like, because your dad's like, go to school, get a degree, and you know he's like very like career focused, it seems. Like, how does he feel about music after The Voice?
Oh my goodness. Well, first off, before The Voice, he was still supportive. Like, amazing. Now after The Voice, he's so cute. He's gonna watch this interview.
Yeah.
Hi, Papa. Because he's been so supportive. Like, I would come home to like my parents' house, and then I would see him just like on YouTube watching videos of me, or watching like people like doing reaction videos. Oh, this girl's so good. And he's like, look, someone commented this on your video. Look, someone did this and this and this. And he really believes in what I do. And I feel like I learned a lot from him and my mom of just like hard work and dedication, and just like, because, you know, pursuing music is not just like being creative. It's like that hard work. It's like a business. But he's been so supportive. And in fact, I've been kind of stressed about money recently, because it's like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And, and so like for my merch, it was like $2,100 for like 150 shirts. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a big chunk of change. And I was like, it's hard to like press the button and be like, yes, because you know you're going to make the money back, but it's scary to see it all leave. Yeah. And so I was like telling my dad about this, and we were like talking on FaceTime, and he said, okay, you pay the $100, I'll pay the $2,000. I was like, are you being for real? So like the amount of relief that gave me was insane. And I know, like, he always tells me, like, when you're famous, you're gonna buy me this car and this car and this car, which he could do it now if you wanted, like, right. But you know, if I could do that one day, I would love to. And I'm so privileged. Like, I will always acknowledge that I am. Having parent support, having family support, boyfriend support, like friend support. Yeah. Both emotionally and financially in ways that I need is insane. It really helps me. And so, like, you know, I know I'm a Nepo baby. Just kidding. I'm not that much of a Nepo baby, okay? Like, it's not like he's like super, super, super rich or anything. But like, I'm like, don't rob us. No.
I feel like I'm learning so much right now. I'm like, wait, what?
You're like, no.
He just made Microsoft.
That's it. He's just the CEO of... No, he's not, I promise. No, but like, you know, he's in a position in life where he can be like, I'm going to give my daughter $2,000 to support her career. Right. You know? Not
everyone can do that. Yeah. That's a big gift.
Yeah. Or like, I was getting a computer while I was on The Voice, and because my old one wasn't working, and I was like, I don't know if I had the money. And he's like, I'll loan you $3,000. Whoa. Have I paid him back? Not yet.
You're like, but I didn't sign a contract. I didn't sign anything.
But I will pay you back. I promise. And he said, I didn't ask for a time and no interest, he said. So that's pretty great. But I will. And I want to be able to do that for my kids one day. Right. And of course have them paid back, because I know I'll be a stickler just like him. Papa. Anyways, no, but I'll pay him back, of course. But all those things really help me.
Yeah. And it's it's like, we often forget that it's like, it's not just us. We do need like a team. We need help. Yeah. We need people around us that can like support each other. And sometimes it is just other artists. Yeah. Sometimes it is family. But it's like those, I mean, just like alone with that merch, it's like, I've been there. I've also been where I paid a lot of money for merch, and then it sits in my trunk for months. So, I still have like 3 t-shirts here, 4 t-shirts, you know.
It's that risk that you just don't know.
Yeah, because then you know, like you'll go on tour, and then you'll end up with like a 3XL and like an extra small, and you're like, this is all I have. I just have these.
Yes. That's the other thing.
That just like, it hangs out.
That's the other thing, is like, getting all these sizes, I'm like, what if I run out of one?
And you will. And that's the issue with t-shirts.
Yes, I will.
You will.
Good manifesting. Just
yeah.
kidding.
No, you'll run out.
Yeah,
You'll sell all of them. I'm saying that right now. You're going to sell all of them. You said 150. There's 600 people there. Yeah, that's easy math, and they're going to get one for a cousin that's not there. It's a whole thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
I also texted Adam Levine's manager. I was like, what's your guys' P.O. box? I'm sending you some merch.
There you go.
I'll be like, it's $600 per shirt.
yeah. You're just like an invoice in there. Anyways, this is how much this costs.
No. I'm sending it for free, of course. He did so much. But yeah, no. I am excited to get to the point where I can reorder. The thing is like that first purchase is scary.
It's huge, yeah.
But once I like recuperate the costs and stuff, I don't think I'll be as scared to be able to like buy the next 150 or 300 and stuff like that. And I went, have you done any idea of like pre-sales before the shows? I was thinking of that.
Because I was just going to say, I was like, I wonder if you said, hey, I have a show. This is the time. And also, here's a link for ordering shirts that will go towards, all the money goes to it. Yeah. If you wouldn't already have to order another 150 before the show even happens. So it's like, it is
I like your
that.
thinking, Zach.
Yeah, I'm always trying to be like,
I like
what's the
I was thinking about that. Yeah. Like, and I also, because like right now I'm like, yeah, I have my live shows. Mm-hmm. I can sell shirts there. But I also know that there's a lot of people from different states now that 100%. Have supported me. And if I can possibly sell that to them and have someone in a different state wearing a shirt that supports me, like that would be insane. Now I have to figure out like shipping labels, tax, like all that stuff. I'm going to look it up. But I think I should do that. Yeah. And maybe a pre-sale order can help me see, like, is there any interest outside of, Washington?
For sure. It gives you a gauge. And even if it's like you already have the 150 ordered, if you sell 20 of them, great. That's 20 you don't have to worry about at the live show. It's like something like that where it can just be, it can just be that. And that's fine,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm here to hype you up. Really,
Thank you.
I'm like in your corner.
One day my merch is gonna sell as good as that Nirvana merch. Okay, just kidding.
That's like billions.
Do not quote me. That would be phenomenal, but
that would be phenomenal.
But like,
we don't know.
But like Nirvana is like cool,
Nirvana is cool.
Like no one has as many like Lady Gaga, and she's amazing. Mm-hmm. But like Nirvana is like iconic. You know? Well, she's iconic. Okay. Do not come at me. Lady Gaga's iconic. But the merch, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I know what you mean. It's like Nirvana is also like a thing, right? It's no longer like a band. Yeah. It's like I am wearing it like a t-shirt. And it's kind of like a brand. Yeah. And there's like a whole thing with that where it's like in our lifetime where we've seen these like rock bands or whatever, where now it's just like you're buying it at like
it's just a style.
Yeah.
It's just a style.
It's
am I going to become style? Like that's the question.
Yeah, and it's like, and I mean, cool merch does matter for sure. Yeah, it definitely changes things. Like I don't like the other thing about I love talking about merch. I could talk about merch for hours.
I love it.
Because like I've tried so many different things. Like what I no longer sell t-shirts at live shows. I sell bags of coffee.
Oh.
And that was my big switch because
that's cool.
I was tired of that issue of having not the right sizes or the right material or the right cut or the right whatever. And then also what's the worst than like touring and then getting a message on Instagram where someone's like, hey, the t-shirt didn't fit. And I'm like,
okay, wait, what do they expect?
Yeah. I go, give it to a friend. I don't, but I hated that. I hated all that. And so I was just like, what else is there out there? And I've tried many other things, but like this last couple of tours, I've done bags of coffee where I just collab with a coffee company. And then like I have a custom label that goes on it.
Yeah.
And then it's
and they use it.
Yeah, they use it and I use it. It's great coffee. And then like
I love that.
Performed at a brewery one time where the guy bought a bunch of bags of it, and then he turned it into a beer, and he was like excited about that. So then he had, you know, Zack Lyman beer for like a while, you know, and it's like these like what's the next, you know, things of like what could be for your fit, you know, of like what fits for you. And
glasses,
like,
man.
Glasses.
I saw you have glasses too, like on your website, like the glasses. I did some research.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get. Well, it's like being a songwriter and a singer, and now you have to think about.
Yeah, you're
a brand identity.
Yeah, you're a business.
You are.
Yeah,
and like it's weird in a way because you're selling yourself as a brand. And not just a person, and you have to think about all of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's
is
like,
it cohesive? Is it? I don't know.
What are you into? What will your fans be into?
Yeah,
and what like makes sense?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I'm excited to see the T-shirts.
Well, I'll get you one.
I'll buy one for sure.
Oh, thanks.
I won't pay $600, but
I wouldn't either. It's definitely not worth $600. Like I don't know.
I'll buy a T-shirt.
Oh,
for
I
sure.
love that. Thank
you. Yeah. You let me know when they're in. First order.
I love it. I love it. But my parents will get one first.
Sure. We'll see.
They're not paying. They're not paying.
Oh, they're not paying?
Well, okay, my dad spent $2,000 on it.
Yeah, I guess he did pay.
And also, like, my mom does everything for me. She's, well, okay, she doesn't do everything, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, angel.
Mm-hmm. She's like your manager now, is that?
We call her momager, but not really.
Okay.
No, like, not really, but I've had so many, like, things. Like, it was hard for me to get to your DM because I have so many, like, oh, I feel so bad for so many people. Like, so many messages, but I get so overwhelmed at a certain point. I can't respond to all of them.
No, you can't.
Or it's just going to take a long time for me to get back to people.
And it's, I mean, I don't know about for you, but for me, it's like the weight of all that.
Oh, yes.
It's just like, I really want to give in my intent to each one of these.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, because of that, my mom is like helping me respond to people on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
In particular. Like, she has, like, my login and everything. And I'm like, please. Because she's like, I'll help with anything. She's a teacher. So, in the summer, now, she has time. And so, she's like, we can body double and do this with ADHD and, like, you know, all this stuff. And so, she's like, let me know what you need help. I have a Cricut. I can do this for you. I can, you know. And so, like, seriously, so loving and supporting. So, you know, if she can respond to those messages and if something's super important that I need my attention to, she'll be like, hey, this person wants you to contact them and da-da-da-da. Like, that's really helpful. But right now, it's me managing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
which is tough. It's a lot.
But manager one day.
Yeah.
One day, if I can trust one.
That's also a big
give a percentage to them.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
You are like, here's my career.
Here's my whole brand.
Yeah. Like, please be careful.
Yeah. Will you care about it as much as I do?
Right.
You know?
And accepting the fact that no one will.
I know.
But what is the level that I'm accepting?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. That's it's
It's
so
a whole
much.
ordeal.
Yeah.
It's so much.
I feel like this podcast needs like a part 2. I need like after you do the fundraising and the t-shirts.
How did the merch go? Right?
Yeah. I want you to come back on and just like, I need another breakdown.
I love it. Like 6 months post. I'm like, guys, I quit music. No.
Yeah. So I started a juice company.
That's my branding. That's my merch. Selling juice.
Zach, I came here to bring you samples.
Dude, should I?
I don't know.
That sounds really good. Juice sounds really good.
So where can people find you online?
Oh, well, you can find me at www.luciafloreswiseman.com. Or just my name, Lucia Flores-Wiseman. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or just look up Lucia, the voice. And like it'll pop up. It'll yeah.
I always like to ask that, and I always like to ask like which one do you? I say like where do you live? Like which one of those do you prefer?
I feel like TikTok.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially right now, I'm trying to expand posting more about like me and my authentic self. It's a little hard and vulnerable. But I feel like Instagram is maybe more like picture perfect. Like maybe not fully, but TikTok, if you want more like authentic Lucia, like sometimes no makeup, sometimes full glam, like that's the place to go.
Okay. Yeah. And I like your TikToks. I like that you've been openly talking about what you've been going through of like from The Voice to now. And that's like a journey that I want to learn about, you know?
Right. And I think that's what I want is for people to connect with me, who I am as a person. And like, it's hard to show that online.
Yeah, it is.
You know? But I think that's kind of like the avenue. It feels more like nonchalant, TikTok.
It does.
And then Instagram feels more like portfolio. I don't know why.
I agree. I feel like Instagram to me, I always think of it as business card, and TikTok, I'm starting to learn and accepting the fact that I should treat it like Instagram stories.
That's what I saw someone post about.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
that's
the same
like
thing,
truly how I've been
where
feeling.
they're like, in Instagram, like make it seem like it's going to go away, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, but just
which
like,
is hard.
Or like a Snapchat story for your friends. Like, hey guys, I'm just doing, and I'm still trying to get into that.
I'm a perfectionist.
We'll both do it.
So.
Yeah, same. And I was doing like videos where it was like high quality everything. And it had to be perfect. And now I'm starting to get out of it. And like I spoke in Spanish in a full video. And like I made $95 from that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. And I think like just trying to like be more authentic, because I think it's the era of authenticity.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is. I think it's like, let's just be raw. Let's just be people. And I think that's how, I think it's just, I think you're right. Like, I think like I'm really recognizing that community is everything.
Yeah.
And that it's going to, the new cool thing is to have a community.
Yeah.
And so be in person, be authentic. And so I think like it starts with that online.
It starts with that. It does. It does.
Well, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This was a lot of fun. I'm so happy that we're able to do this today.
Thank you. How are my comedy skills?
I mean, wonderful. Great. I mean,
thank you,
timing, you know,
thank you.
Finding out your dad was Bill Gates. It's a whole thing.
Right.
So it's been good.
He's going to be like, Lucia.
What are you telling people?
He's like, I'm not actually that rich.
But I've been your host, Zack Lyman. This has been Zack Lyman Podcast. Outro music.